Hi, this is Tiana with Video Hairstyles, and I'm here in Beverly Hills, California with Hector, the owner of Cush Salon, and our model William, and he's going to demonstrate on William how to do like a rock and roll textured hairstyle.
How you doing? I'm Hector Rodriguez. We're here at Cush Salon. This is William. We're going to do a little bit of a rock and roll inspired shag broken up haircut with my dry cutting shears. I've prepped him with shampoo, blow dried, and then I went in with my flat iron because I want to see every little bit of his hair. Wet, I could still do this haircut and it'd still be fun, but doing it dry with my dry cutting shears is just even that much funner. So we, like I said, we prepped him with a flat iron. I'm going to prep him with a little bit of Shine Serum Spray by Color, and that just adds to the fluidity of when I'm cutting. Gives a little bit of weight so it won't overly frizz, and we're gonna have some fun with it. So I'm gonna start in the back. I'm gonna turn him around and section out that bottom nape area. I'm gonna take this a little bit shorter. So we're gonna section that out real quick. It's a loose haircut, so there's not a definite sectioning about, you know, below the occipital, just getting hair out of my way so I can go in and give it some nice movement and texture with my dry cutting shears. We're gonna take it short, but actually leave some length at the same time. So I use BMAC shears. They're called the Dry 61DS. Great shear. I use them for everything. I use them for dry cutting, wet cutting, but just really has let me take my work to the next level. We're going to go in and do what I call up elevation and just give it some cool texture. Just going in and pulling that shear out and stroking that out. And you're seeing that action that that shear gives me is these cool, like, broken kind of ends. That just popped right there, which is good because he's got fine, fine hair. And with the rock and roll, you want it a little bit broken, a little bit, you know, teased. Same thing, up elevation. And again, those cool pieces. It's almost like a razor cut without the razor. It's a little bit more easy on the hair rather than a razor. His hair with the razor, I could really break it up and really kind of hurt that texture. It's got that fine hair, so I want to keep the integrity of that end and the integrity of his hair. So I'm grabbing everything and I'm pulling it back to almost my last section. Not quite the center, but my last section. And what that's doing is keeping length towards the front. Seeing what I've got, having fun. Again, bringing that section back to my last section. And I can kind of see what's underneath, and I can either choose to do the same exact 3 pieces or take my section up a little bit and break it up even more. So I said up elevation. We could also go down and do what I call down elevation with it. And it'll give you that just really cool combination of a lot of cool texture. So my centerpiece was just straight out. Now this is the other side, so I'm actually pulling it back this way. All my other pieces were pulling towards that center. Pulling it towards the center again. So what that's doing is when it pushes that way, it leaves a little bit more length. These are dry cutting shears, and A lot of different companies make them. Pretty much the design of the blade is pretty much the same, so the action on your dry cutting shears would be the same. If you don't have dry cutting shears, use a convex shear rather than a sword blade shear. That'll add a little bit more ease to your stroking of the hair. It won't give you the same action here. You'll have to be a little bit more careful. It'll cut the hair off a little sharper, so you just have to be a little bit more careful with your convex shears. So I pretty much did the same thing to that whole bottom nape area. I dropped the top. This is kind of cool, just like this. We could leave this, and I kind of like it, but we're gonna connect these two sections, my underneath. Now you don't have to, because in this type of haircut, that disconnection could be cool, could be fun. But we're gonna take it a little bit shorter, kind of just doing the same action. You could have fun and kind of change up with down elevation and up elevation and see what you guys get out of this. So again, still the same up elevation. What that's doing is taking the shorter links underneath with longer on top. So we're keeping that weight, keeping that length, but yet a lot of texture inside that haircut. So we kind of did the same thing that we did in the back to the sides. We strung it back a little bit, some nice up elevation like I said. Now I'm gonna just take the top, a nice section. And I'm gonna do a little bit of scooping action with my shears. And because I said like they're dry shears, they really actually push that end, so I can really go in and just nice strokes, short to long. Keep the hair long, but it's got some nice short pieces inside to support that messy, disheveled look that we're going for. Again, stroking. Same principle. Now I'm taking it the opposite way. Very personal, very fluid, nothing like, from mapped out. You're sculpting his hair, you're manipulating it and putting it to where you want. I'm gonna take my 47-17. There are 17 teeth and they give great texture. So I'm just gonna go in and kind of interiorly chip out even more little short hairs to support that kind of rock and roll, disheveled texture. Those guys got it from cutting their own hair in the bathroom. Their friends would cut their hair, so we're inspired by that, or I'm inspired by that. But it's definitely a professional look and a little bit more polished. You go in and just softly, same kind of direction. I'm going to turn in the mirror and take a look and see what I've got. Still want to keep that length over here, so I'm taking it over and just texturizing it out to my end. When I looked in the mirror, I thought it was a little heavy, so I wanted to take a little bit more weight out of it. So when cutting with texturizing shears or razor shears or thinning shears, whatever you call it, there's a bottom blade and a top blade, and that's your cutting blade. That blade is actually the hair that we'll be cutting. So when I'm cutting like this, the hair underneath is being cut, And when that blade is on top, the hair on top is being cut. So right now I want it underneath, so I want it on top, so now the blade's on the other side. So this is William. We finished his haircut with my dry cutting shears on dry hair. Prepped him. We pre-prepped him with a little bit of shine serum and shine spray to get that fluidity in his hair and to really be able to have my hair cutting scissors stroke through the hair and stuff. So I'm happy with the texture. We're going to use a little bit of Osmo wax. It's a clay wax, just a little bit. Just go through it. You could palm tease it a little bit, depending on how much body and movement you want out of it, but you can really get all that texture that we gave. This is William. All he needs is one of my rings and it'll be rock and roll. Thanks a lot.